You see them everywhere, right? In the office, at the airport, maybe even in the wall of a coffee shop. That humble little Ethernet port. But here's a thought. What if that harmless-looking jack is actually one of the biggest, most overlooked security holes in your entire network? Let's dive in.
Just think about your office. There are probably dozens of them, little plastic squares in the wall, just sitting there. You walk past them every day. But have you ever stopped to wonder? Are they actually safe? Are you positive no one can just walk up and plug something in?
Because to an attacker, an open port isn't just an empty jack. It's a wide open door. It's an invitation. And you better believe they have tools built for exactly this scenario, like the Shark Jack. This little thing is a nightmare. It can plug in and map your entire network in less than 60 seconds.
So how in the world does that work? How can one tiny device cause so much chaos? It's actually simpler than you might think. Let's break down the anatomy of a typical attack.
The scary part is how automated and, well, normal this all looks to the network. First, the attacker just plugs the tool in. If the port is live, it powers right up. Second, it plays nice. It just asks the network, hey, can I have an IP address please? Just like your laptop would. The network's DHCP server, which is kind of like a friendly receptionist, says, sure, here you go. Third, and this is the crucial part, along with that IP address, the tool gets a map of the neighborhood, the subnet, the gateway, all the info it needs. And finally, with that map in hand, it launches a scan with something like Nmap, and boom, it has a complete list of every single device on your network.
So, this isn't magic. For this attack to work, the hacker has a very specific wish list. Number 1, the port has to be active. Obvious, right? Number 2, a DHCP server has to be listening and willing to hand out an IP address. And number 3, the network has to let the tool actually talk to other devices. But here's the good news. If we can deny them just one of those 3 things, the whole attack falls apart.
Okay, so let's start building our defense. And we're going to start with the easiest, most satisfying win, locking down all of those ports that you aren't even using. You've really got 2 main strategies here. On one side, you have the shutdown command. This is the brute force approach. You're basically putting a giant steel lock on the door. It is without a doubt the most secure option. But yeah, it can be a pain if you need to use that port in a hurry. Your other option is the black hole VLAN. This one's a bit more elegant. It's like letting someone into a room that has no doors and no windows. They're in, but they're trapped and can't go anywhere or do anything. And really, the power of that first option is its beautiful simplicity. For a network admin, it's one word. You type shutdown. That's it. The result is that the port becomes administratively down. It's off, and it is staying off until an admin says otherwise.
So what exactly is a black hole VLAN? Well, imagine you create a special little corner of your network that's completely empty. There's no receptionist to give out an IP address. There's no door to the internet. Nothing. Any device that plugs into a port assigned to this VLAN is basically stranded on a digital desert island. It has a connection, sure, but it can't talk to anyone or go anywhere. It's a dead end.
Okay, so we're feeling pretty good. Our unused ports are all locked down. We're safe now, right? Well, maybe not. Because now we have to talk about the unplug and hack threat.
Let's set the scene. Your office printer is connected to the wall, working perfectly. You did all your homework. Every other port in the office is either shut down or in a black hole. Your network feels like a fortress, but is it?
I mean, what's to stop someone from just walking up to that printer, yanking the network cable out for just 30 seconds, and plugging their own malicious device into that port? It's a known, good, active port.
This is where we need to get smarter. This is where we bring in the big guns. Let me introduce you to your network's very own digital bouncer. It's called Port Security. Port Security is an amazing feature on your switch that, you guessed it, acts like a bouncer at an exclusive club. It doesn't just care if the door is open. It cares about who is trying to walk through it. It checks the unique ID of every device, its MAC address, and decides if it's on the guest list. Let's make this analogy crystal clear, because it's perfect. The switch port is the door to the club. Your device's unique MAC address, that's its ID. And Port Security is the bouncer standing there with a clipboard. If your MAC address isn't on the list, you're not getting in. End of story.
And setting this up is actually a super simple 3-step process. First, you just enable the feature on the port. Easy. Second, you set the rule. My personal favorite is to tell it to be sticky. That tells the switch, hey, whoever the first device to plug in here is, memorize their MAC address and only let them in from now on. And third, you decide what happens to rule breakers. We tell it to shut the port down immediately if anyone else tries to connect.
So let's watch it happen. The attacker unplugs the printer and plugs in their shark jack. For just a split second, a new unauthorized MAC address shows up on that port.
And bam, instantly, the switch's security protocol kicks right in. The bouncer saw fake ID. The system log shouts, security violation, and the port status immediately changes to air disabled. That's tech speak for the door just got slammed shut and locked. And what's the result? 0. Absolutely nothing. No data breached. Access denied. The attacker was stopped so fast, their tool didn't even get an IP address. The attack was stopped cold.
Now, port security is an amazing and fundamental tool, but it's good to know that in the big enterprise leagues, they add even more layers. You'll see things like 802.1x, where users actually have to log in with a username and password just to get the port to work, or they'll use digital certificates to verify devices. There are even advanced systems that can automatically figure out what is plugging in, a phone, a printer, a laptop, and apply the right security policy on the fly.
So, let's wrap this all up with your key takeaway. It's all about defense in layers. Here's your simple 3-layer plan. Layer 1, shut down every single port you are not using. No excuses. Layer 2, for any ports you have to keep active but are empty, move them to that black hole VLAN. And Layer 3, on every single active port with a device you trust, enable port security and lock it to that specific device.
And that really brings us to the core truth of cybersecurity. It's a process, not a destination. You're never really done. So great, your ports are secure, but what's the next vulnerability? What's the next unlocked door you need to go find?